Hello, and welcome to Once Upon a Time. I'm your host, Wilfred Blythe Bucas, English professor and curator of Once Upon a Time archives. It's a pleasure to have you here with us. We've got a fine show for you. It's really full of surprises. Each week here on Once Upon a Time, I and the Once Upon a Time players will transport you to a different world. World of fantasy, fun, and excitement as we recreate and sometimes decimate enchanting tales from Mother Goose, the Brothers Grimm, and occasionally one of those warm-hearted ethnic stories that you probably thought were just the ludicrous ramblings of some old washwoman. I love those, don't you? Today's story is the aptly entitled The Yolks on You, a humorous rendition of that beloved classic, Humpty Dumpty. I think the show's warm-hearted and refreshing. I think you'll find it a rare chance to laugh, sit, and enjoy. So, sit in your favorite chair and watch the show. If you're watching from an unfurnished apartment, please, of course, make room on the carpet. And children, as always, please sit at least 3 feet away from the screen as not to impair your brain cells. Don't want our minds turning to mush, do we? And now, the Yolks on You.
Mother Goose Land, April 1. It was a day like most other days, except for one small detail. There was something sinister in the air. I could smell it. I'd just taken a shower, so I figured it must mean foul play. Most of the Mother Goose Landers stay away from trouble. Don't want to get their hands dirty. For me, it's different. I carry a badge. And that means something. A little pride, a little dignity, a steady paycheck every 2 weeks. I'd only been in my office a few minutes when I received a call. The party on the other end of the line was hysterical, and the party was an egg. It was Mrs. Dumpty, mother of the famous Humpty Dumpty, and apparently there was some sort of trouble. Since I can't stand dealing with hysterical eggs over the telephone, I decided to visit the residence in person. When I arrived, Mr. Humpty and the missus were waiting for me in the living room at the castle.
Oh, officer, it was horrible, just horrible.
Now, Your Highness, what was horrible?
It's our young boy, Humpty. The young tyke was playing just this morning on the wall near the north end of the castle.
He was always such a good little egg.
yes,
He played
yes.
so nicely.
Just the facts, ma'am. He was playing by the wall.
Well, yes, just this morning. I mean, he was only gone for just a few moments.
But we heard
and
a terrible scream.
Oh, and then a crack.
And then this horrible splattering
Oh,
noise.
dear,
I
dear.
can't go on. It's so
Dear,
horrible.
dear.
Allow me to surmise the rest. The horrible splattering noise must have been to young Humpty.
Yes,
Yes,
oh yes,
yes.
it was my baby.
Yes, you'll have to excuse her. This has been a difficult time.
These things are never easy, Your Royalness. Tell me, where is this wall from here?
Well, it's right across the moat and to your left. You can't miss it. It's an awful mess.
Yeah, I'd better go take a look for myself. When I got to the wall, I could see why Mrs. Dumpty was so upset. It was pretty messy business. There was yolk and egg white smeared from one end of the wall to the other. There were pieces of shell scattered all over the place, too. And laying right in the middle of the whole thing was the young Humpty's cloak, all covered with goo. There was only one bystander left at the scene, a guy named Blue, little boy Blue. According to his story, he'd been in the vicinity during the time the actual crime had been committed. But there was something funny about him. Even though he'd been there the whole time, he claimed he never saw a thing. Said he hung out at a nearby haystack. That was the last straw. I grabbed him and roughed him up a bit. It made me feel good. I'm a cop.
I was right there under this haystack. Alone.
And yet you're
Que je
telling
suis
me you
facile
didn't
parce
see
que
anything.
nookie. I was asleep.
Doesn't it strike you as unusual, Mr. Blue, that such a heinous crime could be committed practically under your nose without you so much as stirring from your nap?
Well, I suppose so. I hadn't really thought about it.
Well, you better start doing some thinking, Mr. Blue. Not more than an hour ago, a 4.5-foot egg was smashed to pieces not 20 feet from where you say you were snoozing. Yet you didn't see anything. I can't buy that, Mr. Blue. I'm going to have to take you in.
Fucking Blue. What are you doing?
These are handcuffs, Mr. Blue. I'm arresting you as an accomplice after the fact.
But les sheep are in the meadow, les cows are in the corn. I have to blow my horn and get them out of there.
I'm confiscating the horn as evidence. Better step into the squad car, please.
But les sheep.
like cows.
It wasn't long after I got in blue back to the station house and filled out a report that one of the boys brought in another suspect for questioning. They'd picked him up the night before on the other side of Goose Land. Seems some of the neighbors had reported a prowler. I'd never seen the man before, but he claimed his name was Winky.
That's right. Wee Willie Winky. You know, Wee Willie Winky ran through the town, upstairs, downstairs in his nightgown.
Yeah, I heard of you. Tapping at the windows, crying at the lock. What were you doing, casing a joint for a heist?
Of course not. It was 8 o'clock, and I was merely making sure the children were all in their beds.
Careful now, Mr. Winky. Anything you say may be used against you. You don't add attempted kidnapping to your charges now, do you? Got the key to these?
That's preposterous. I'm Wee Willie Winky. I've been a Mother Goose Land for years.
Yeah, well, it's a wonder we never picked you up before this. Running around in your provocative sort of thing there. Book 'em, Clancy.
Fuck me. Are you crazy? Mother Goose is going to hear about this.
Get him out of here. Yeah, Winky was a pretty tough customer. It took us a while, but we finally calmed him down. No sooner had we done so than a lady came in off the street to report another crime. She was a queen. We got scads of queens in Mother Goose Land. Most of them are Carl Malden's problem, not mine. Anyway, this one happened to be the Queen of Hearts. She'd come in to report a robbery. Seems there were some tarts missing.
Just 3 dozen of them, and I know who did it to that despicable knave, the knave of hearts.
Now listen, Your Majesty, that's a pretty damaging accusation you're making there.
Mira.
How can you be sure it was actually the knave? Did you see him?
No, I didn't see him, but he's the one who always steals them. Haven't you read the rhyme? The Queen of Hearts, she made some tarts on a summer's day. The knave of hearts and stole the tarts and quickly out. Who else do you think would have stolen, eh? Jack Spratt? Huh?
Yeah, you got a point there. And McCloskey, put out an all-points bulletin on the knave. Listen, Your Majesty, I'm working on another case here, and I believe there's a possibility of a connection.
I see.
Yeah. You think this knave of yours could have had anything to do with the unfortunate demise of the young Humpty Dumpty?
I wouldn't be surprised. That knave is intolerable.
That was good enough for me. We'd had trouble with this knave before. To tell you the truth, the whole tart business kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. I set out right then and there to track him down. But I hadn't gone very far before I encountered a citizen in distress. She was a pretty good-looking citizen, too, so I decided to stop and see if I could be of assistance. The name? Little Bo Peep. It fit.
Officer, do you think you can help me?
Oh, what's up, sweetheart?
It's my sheep. They're lost, and I don't know where to find them.
Oh, it's a tough break.
I just don't know what to do.
Have you considered simply leaving them alone and letting them come home? Wagging their tails behind?
No, I've tried that for a week now and nothing's happened. They haven't come home. I'm afraid something awful has happened to them.
Yeah, that could be. We've been having a rash of felonies lately.
Oh!
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm hot on the trail of a vicious and hardened criminal this very moment. Want to come along, sweetheart?
If it'll help me find my sheep.
Great. Hop in a squad car. Say, you wouldn't happen to have any leads, would you?
Leads?
Yeah, you know, friends, relatives, acquaintances that might have had something stolen lately.
Yes, as a matter of fact, my aunt, old Mother Hubbard, just yesterday, she went to the cupboard to get her poor dog a bone.
There was nothing there, right?
That's right.
The cupboard was bare, right? I knew it. We better get to a phone and contact this Hubbard right away. While we were hunting down a phone booth, I tried to strike up a conversation. But her mood had strangely changed. She became quiet, withdrawn. Couldn't get a peep out of her. We finally located a phone booth on the corner of Lollipop Lane and Peppermint Parkway. Bo Peep dialed the number, and then I got on the line. Unfortunately, Mother Hubbard wasn't there. She was off doing some shopping in order to remedy the bare cupboard situation. In view of her absence, I decided to talk to the dog. You don't say. You don't say. You don't say.
Well, who stole the bones?
He didn't say.
Oh, that's awful.
She was right. It was awful. But it was the best joke I could come up with on the spur of the moment. Some guys are comedians. I'm a cop.
Dumpty, Dumpty,